Welcome, dear listener, and thank you for joining me tonight. As the world slows its pace and the sky stretches into an ocean of quiet stars, this is your time. A sacred moment just for you, to breathe, to rest, and to drift gently into a peaceful sleep. Tonight, you're invited into the world of ancient myth, a world older than memory, where gods walked among mountains and seas, whispered the secrets of the cosmos. We begin our journey with one of the greatest tales of all, the rise of Zeus, the god of thunder, and the long mythic war that changed the fate of the heavens forever. Let this story be your soft companion through the twilight. Let the rhythm of the words carry you slowly away into a place where time dissolves and dreams are woven from the threads of myth. But before we enter the world of titans and thunder, let's begin by inviting your body and your mind into rest. Find a comfortable position now. Let your body be soft. Whether you are lying in bed, wrapped in blankets, or reclining in your favorite chair, allow gravity to gently hold you. Let your shoulders drop and your jaw unclench. Release any tension hiding in your hands, your neck, your back. Take a long, gentle breath in. Hold it for just a moment and exhale softly. Let it carry away the day. Inhale again, feeling the cool air fill your lungs. Pause and exhale, feeling your chest soften and your body melt deeper into comfort. With each breath, feel your mind becoming quieter. Let thoughts drift by like clouds, acknowledged, then let go. There's nowhere to be right now, nothing to do. Just the sound of this voice and the story to come. Imagine yourself now lying beneath a twilight sky. The stars are beginning to appear one by one, like soft lanterns in the dark. A breeze moves through the tall grass around you, whispering ancient names from long ago. You are safe here, and the world of myth is just ahead, waiting for you to step gently into it. Let us now drift back to the beginning of time, to the birth of the cosmos, the clash of giants, and the rise of the gods. The story is beginning. Long before the names of Zeus, Hera, or Hades echoed through marble temples, before Mount Olympus rose as the shining home of the gods, there was only chaos. Not chaos as we know it, loud, frantic, or confused, but something quieter, a vast, empty stillness, a dark, endless void. The ancient Greeks believed that this formless abyss was the very beginning of everything. They called it chaos, the yawning gap from which all things emerged. From this silence came the first forces of the universe: Gaia, the earth, rich and maternal; Uranus, the sky, vast and star-filled; Nyx, the night; and Erebus, the darkness. Together, these first primordial beings shaped a world from nothingness. Gaia, the earth, gave birth to mountains, rivers, and valleys. And from her union with Uranus, the sky above her, came the first powerful race of divine beings, the Titans. The Titans were colossal and ancient. they were not quite gods as we know them, but something older, raw forces of nature, vast and terrible in their power, but still bound by fate. 12 great titans ruled the world under the iron grip of their father, Uranus. Mighty Oceanus, who encircled the earth with waters. Golden-haired Hyperion, the light of the sun. And wise Cronus, the youngest, whose hunger for power would change the course of time itself. But even these titans were not alone. From Gaia's depths came others too, beings of incredible force and strangeness. The Cyclopes, with a single blazing eye, masters of thunder and fire. The Hecatoncheires, monstrous and mighty, each with 100 arms and 50 heads. Children of Gaia and Uranus, but feared and imprisoned by their father. And so the heavens trembled with tension. The earth groaned under secrets, and the seed of rebellion took root in silence. What followed was the first great war of the cosmos, a war that would shape the very structure of heaven and earth. It was a war between father and son, old gods and new, Titan and Olympian, and from the dust and thunder of that war, a new order would rise. At the center of it all, a child born in secret, hidden away in a cave on a lonely mountain, destined to overthrow the tyrants of old and bring balance to the world above and below. His name was Zeus, and this is his story. In the beginning, the earth was still and vast. Gaia, the Great Mother, lay beneath a wide and endless sky. Uranus, the heaven, stretched above her, watchful, eternal, and cold. Every night, Uranus descended from the stars to lie with Gaia, and from their union, children were born. Titan after Titan emerged, tall, glowing, and full of primordial power. 12 of them walked the early world, 6 brothers and 6 sisters, each carved from stardust and stone. But Gaia bore more than just the Titans. She gave birth to the Cyclopes, giants with a single blazing eye in the center of their foreheads, whose crafts could shape storms and thunder. And from the deep places of the earth came the Hecatoncheires, beings too strange, too vast. Each had 50 heads and 100 arms, wild and uncontrollable, like the roar of an avalanche. Uranus looked upon these strange children with horror. They were not elegant like the Titans. They were too powerful, too wild. He feared them. So Uranus did the unthinkable. He reached into the womb of Gaia and imprisoned them deep within her body, pushing the Cyclopes and Hecatoncheires into the blackness of Tartarus, a place even deeper than the underworld, a prison beneath the very roots of existence. Gaia cried out in pain, not just the pain of a mother who had lost her children, but the pain of the earth itself, heavy, groaning, wounded. The stars above remained silent. But in the darkness beneath the mountains, a new plan began to take shape. Gaia, wise and patient, grew a seed of rebellion in her heart. She crafted a great curved blade of flint, sharp as winter winds. And she called her children, the Titans, to her. One by one, they came to listen. She whispered her plan, soft as falling ash. But the Titans trembled, and none dared to raise their hand against Uranus. None except the youngest. His name was Cronus, cunning, quiet, and hungry for power. He stepped forward and took the flint sickle from Gaia's hand. "I will do this," he said. And Gaia, with all the quiet sorrow of a wounded world, blessed her son. That night, as Uranus descended once more to lie upon the earth, Cronus waited in shadow. The stars blinked in silence. The sky bent low, and Cronus struck. With the sickle, he severed the power of Uranus, casting his father down, ending his dominion. Uranus cried out, his voice echoing through the stars, a sound that became wind, storm, and silence. From the blood of Uranus, as it spilled across Gaia, new beings were born. The Erinyes, or Furies, spirits of vengeance, the giants, fierce and towering. And from sea foam that gathered around his severed form, a goddess would one day rise. Aphrodite, goddess of beauty and desire. But that is another tale. Cronus took the crown of the heavens. The Titans stood beside him. The rule of Uranus had ended. And so began the Golden Age. It was a time of calm and harvest, of long days and silver light. Mortals had not yet been made, and the world was ruled by Titans alone. But Gaia's heart was still restless, for she knew, as all mothers know, that Cronus, like his father before him, would one day fall. Uranus, even as he faded, whispered a curse upon Cronus. "You too will be cast down by your own son." Cronus, hearing these words, was filled with dread. He had won the world by betrayal. He knew too well the shape of treachery. And so, when he took Rhea, his sister, as his queen, and she bore him children, Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon, he made a terrible choice. One by one, as each child was born, Cronus opened his mouth and swallowed them whole. He told himself it was necessary, that he would not be undone as Uranus had been. That power was too precious to lose. But Rhea wept in secret. She carried each child into the world, only to see them vanish into the dark of Cronus's belly. When she became pregnant with her sixth child, her sorrow turned to resolve. She could not let another be consumed. And so, quietly, she sought help from Gaia. The earth whispered a plan, old and full of wisdom. When the time came, Rhea gave birth in secret, far from the halls of the Titans. On the green slopes of Mount Dicte, in the heart of the island of Crete, she brought her son into the world. He was small, but radiant, a soft curl of hair on his head, thunder sleeping in his breath. She named him Zeus, and she swaddled a stone, wrapping it in cloth, and handed it to Cronus. He swallowed it without question, never knowing the child he feared was growing strong and safe beneath the protection of nymphs and the earth. Deep in the cave, Zeus was rocked gently in a cradle, guarded by the Corytes, warriors who danced and clashed, their weapons to drown out his cries. Fed with the milk of the divine goat Amalthea, cradled by bees who fed him golden honey, the heavens were quiet. The Titans ruled. And deep in the hidden places of the world, the boy who would become king of gods was dreaming of thunder. Time passed, slowly, gently, as if the earth itself was holding its breath. In a quiet cave on the green slopes of Mount Dicte, Zeus grew. He ran among the olive trees, bathed in the golden light of the early world. The nymphs whispered ancient lullabies to him. The goat, Amalthea, nuzzled him with warmth, her milk rich with divine strength. And above them all, the Curetes danced and clashed their bronze shields, hiding the sound of the godchild's laughter. Zeus grew strong, stronger than any mortal could imagine, but more than his muscles or his thunder, he grew wise. He listened to the earth, he studied the stars, and in his heart, he knew his time would come. When he was grown, Zeus left the mountains. He walked across the wide land of Greece, over the rivers and ridges, his presence felt in every whisper of wind. He saw what Cronus had done. He saw how the world, once golden, had dimmed under fear. And then, in a quiet grove, he met Metis, the goddess of deep thought and wisdom. Together they made a plan, not of wrath or rage, but of justice. Metis brewed a potion, thick and bitter, made from roots that grew in the corners of memory and time. Zeus brought this potion to Cronus in disguise, offering it as wine at a great feast. Cronus, boastful and unwary, drank deeply. Moments passed. Then, with a thunderous heave, the Titan king vomited forth the 5 children he had swallowed. First Hestia, then Demeter, Hera, Hades, and last, mighty Poseidon. Now full grown, radiant, and burning with purpose. The 6 siblings stood together for the first time, side by side, under the open sky, the children of Cronus and Rhea, the new gods, the Olympians. The world trembled. The Titans, hearing of the uprising, stirred from their palaces. Cronus, his pride wounded, called his brothers and sisters, Oceanus, Coeus, Creus, Iapetus, and the rest, summoning them to war. And so began the Titanomachy, the war between the Titans and the Olympians, a war that would shake the very foundations of creation, a war that would last 10 long years. The sky burned, the seas howled, the mountains cracked. But even in war, the earth tried to cradle its children. Each god took their place. Zeus, with his lightning bolts, hurled fire from the heavens. Poseidon, master of waves, raised vast seas to drown the enemy. Hades, lord of shadow, opened pits of darkness to swallow whole armies. Hera, Demeter, and Hestia, wise and powerful, shaped fate with every move, guiding battle with cunning and grace. But the Titans were mighty. They had ruled the world since time began. Cronus wielded his sickle still, sharp and cruel. Atlas bore mountains on his shoulders. And the old gods did not fall easily. For 10 years the war raged. Days turned to dust, and nights turned to flame. Even the stars seemed to blink less brightly. Seeing the tide waver, Gaia came once more to Zeus in a dream. Her voice was soft as wind in leaves. "You are strong, child of thunder, but there are still powers greater than you, forgotten but not lost. Free them, and they will fight beside you." Zeus, remembering the tale of his monstrous uncles, the Cyclopes and the Hecatoncheires, still imprisoned in Tartarus, set out beneath the earth. Down, down, down he went, past the roots of trees and bones of old gods, into the black belly of the world. He battled Campe, the serpentine guard of Tartarus, whose tail writhed with fire and death. With a blast of lightning, Zeus shattered her chains and broke the gates. From the gloom, the Cyclopes stepped forth. Grateful for their freedom, they gave Zeus 3 gifts: a bolt of pure lightning, the first of its kind; a trident for Poseidon to stir the oceans; a helm of invisibility for Hades to move unseen in shadow. And then came the Hecaton chairs. Their 100 arms rose like a forest of war. They tore mountains from the earth and hurled them at the Titans, shaking the sky. Now the balance had shifted. Zeus stood atop Mount Olympus and hurled bolt after bolt into the battlefield, each one crackling like the heartbeat of the cosmos. Poseidon shattered cliffs, sending tsunamis crashing into the strongholds of the Titans. Hades, cloaked in darkness, moved through the enemy ranks, sowing fear and silence. And in the final days of battle, the Olympians cornered the Titans at the edge of the world. A final cry rang out through the heavens, the roar of Cronus as he fell beneath the storm of his son's thunder. The war was over. The Titans were defeated. Zeus, in mercy and justice, did not destroy them. He cast them into Tartarus, behind walls of bronze and beneath rivers of fire. He set the Hecaton chairs as their guards, standing watch for all eternity. And so the world was made new. The age of the Olympians had begun. Zeus took his throne atop Mount Olympus. The clouds swirled around him, crowned in thunder. Hera became his queen. Poseidon took the sea. Hades ruled the underworld below. The earth at last exhaled. Peace returned. And the stars blinked once more. But the memory of the war, the fire, the betrayal, the thunder, lingered even in dreams. The war was over, and from the silence that followed, a new world began to bloom. Zeus, son of Cronus, stood at the summit of Mount Olympus. The air was thin and bright, laced with golden light. Below him stretched the vastness of the earth, lush, wide, and waiting. The Olympians had won. But with victory came responsibility. The world, scorched and torn by the battles of the gods, now needed order. It needed balance. It needed harmony. So Zeus gathered his brothers and sisters beneath the high clouds, and together they cast lots to divide the realms between them. Not with anger or envy, but with wisdom, with unity. To Zeus, the sky was given, the clouds and storms, the thunder and rain, the winds that whispered across the world, all his to command. To Poseidon, the deep and restless sea. He would ride the waves in a chariot of foam, his trident stirring the oceans into calm or storm. To Hades, the silent realm beneath the earth, the underworld, where souls would pass, and where the treasures of the deep, the gems, the gold, the quiet, would gleam in the darkness. To Hera, Zeus's sister and queen, was given the realm of marriage and family, in her heart strong and watchful over the bonds of love. Demeter took the fertile earth the grains and harvests. She would teach humanity to grow and reap and thrive. And Hestia, kind and gentle, kept the sacred fire. She became guardian of hearth and home, present in every flame, every peaceful gathering, every warmth. From the mountaintop, the gods watched the world below. The rivers ran once more, the forests healed, the stars seemed to hum with contentment. And so, in this new age, the world was shaped. Zeus stretched his hand to the heavens, and the eagle flew at his command. He built a palace of marble and cloud on Olympus, where the gods would gather in council. His voice became law, but not cruel, not careless. He ruled with a sense of justice, a sense born from the mistakes of those who came before. No more would the children of gods be swallowed. No more would fear reign over creation. And so the gods took their places. The seasons began to turn under Demeter's touch. The sea creatures sang in Poseidon's halls. The souls of the dead walked gently in the care of Hades. And from the top of Olympus, Zeus watched all. Sometimes he would walk among mortals, cloaked in mist and curiosity. Sometimes he would sit quietly beside the clouds, eyes half closed, listening to the thunder inside his own heart. But even among gods, peace does not last forever. Stories would come of Prometheus and fire, of Pandora's jar, of jealousies and love, and wars on earth and Troy. Yet for this brief moment, a golden calm stretched across the cosmos. The earth sighed, the heavens shone, the gods, young and eternal, stood tall and free, and the story, though it would continue for eternity, would always begin here, with a child in a cave, a stone in swaddling cloth, and a voice of thunder learning how to bring peace. And now, dear listener, the story has settled into stillness. The war is over. The gods have found their thrones, and the world turns, calm and steady, beneath the quiet stars. Let your breath slow now. Let your body soften completely. There's nothing you need to do. You've traveled through the storm of myth, through birth and betrayal, thunder and triumph. And you've arrived safely here at the edge of sleep. Imagine the mountaintop of Olympus in the distance, clouds curling around marble columns, the hush of immortal voices whispering above you like wind through leaves. The world is at peace, and so are you. Let the stillness settle in your chest. Feel the safety of your breath. Each inhale, a gentle wave. Each exhale, a deeper sinking into comfort. And now, some gentle words, soft and true, to carry you into the dream world. You are safe. You are loved. You are protected by the sky, the sea, and the earth. You carry the strength of the thunder and the peace of the stars. Your breath is calm. Your heart is quiet. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to let go. You are allowed to dream. Let your thoughts grow light and distant now, like clouds fading into a warm horizon. If sleep hasn't found you yet, that's okay. There's no rush. The story will wait for you, the quiet will hold you, and as you drift deeper, know that you walk in the footsteps of gods, under a sky that remembers every name ever whispered to the wind. Sleep well, dear soul, and when you wake, may you carry the calm of Olympus in your heart. Good night.
you.